for a ride. Come on. It's time to go fly. It's time to go fly. All right. Let's go do it. Let's go fly. Come on. Come on, kids. Let's do it. Here we go. We're going to go right out here on the road. Get you guys all nice and comfortable. You know the routine. You've done this before. You guys have all done this before. This is going to be fun today, huh? What we're going to do today is we're going to give them a little training toss and to let them fly back to the loft. And we're going to release them here in just a minute. The reason that we do that is a number of different reasons that you could train for. But one is physical conditioning in preparation for races. Another is to give them confidence, because the more they do it, the more confident they become, the less hesitant they are, or the less confused they can be. So the more times that you get them out on road training and you turn them loose, then they've done that before, okay? And it's not as worrisome to them. When they get loaded up in the crates and they get moved a spot, then they get released, they know what the routine is. So we build confidence in them, and we also make them know that there's something expected from them. Hey, you guys ready? Huh? You guys ready to go for a run? Let's do it. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on, kids. Let's go. All right. And they're off. They're gone.
This first group of birds was released close to the loft and returned quickly, which means they won't necessarily come straight into the loft, but circle around, just getting exercise. It's also important to familiarize them with their surroundings.
Basically, what they're doing right there is just exercising around the loft, staying close to home. What's great about the racing pigeons is that it's a bird that actually does something. These are birds that are athletes that go and do something, that they love their home so much that they return to it from long, great distances with in great speed, and just their love of their home, and that they do something, that you could turn them loose, and that they fly around and are active, and they have the will, the free will. You could turn them loose and they could just fly away and be free and never return to your spot. But they love their home so much that they continue to return to it. And not only that, but they do it with such great desire that mankind has really figured out a way that we can race them and make a contest out of this and see who can motivate their birds the greatest. And a lot of times it isn't necessarily the guy who has the fastest bird, but maybe a bird that's more motivated by his nestmate or by youngsters in the nest or something that has the greater desire. So ability isn't always the great denominator. Sometimes it basically boils down to a bird that's more motivated than a bird that can fly faster. Each perch is for a bird, and each bird favors that perch and fights for that perch, so that it wants to come home to its loft, and it wants to come home to its spot in that loft. It's very important. You try to make them fond of their home, and so they got their little spot and their little perch, so that they want to fly home and be on that particular spot. On the older birds with the mates, you want to make it so that they want to get back to their nest and to their mate, and that gives them motivation to fly even faster. So there's ways of teasing them, show them their mate and then take it away from them so that they want to fly that much faster home. So you can look at them and see that they're smart birds, and that that they're a little bit more than just the common bird that you might see in the park. Most of these birds in here will fly, this year will fly 300 to 400 miles on some of the races. So we haven't quite figured out a good 500-mile station yet for our club, but they'll race over 300 miles in our club this year. So that's pretty neat when you see birds that you think will find their way home over those kinds of distances. Come here, kid. All right. This bird right here is a cock bird, and he was born in 2003. And they've got the most beautiful eyes on him, and the coloration is pretty. This one's exceptional. But what's neat about this bird, now he's got the seamless band on him. This is bird 3975. This bird flew a race from Steamboat Springs, which is 165 miles for us, and won first place out of 300 pigeons. So this is a champion pigeon, racing pigeon right here. And not only is he a beautiful bird, but he's a champion as well. So initially what happens is that we have a survey done from the point of the loft to where the release point is. And at that point in time, everybody has the exact amount of yardage between that release point and their loft. Then it's a timed event. So we're going to time them from the time that they leave that point until their arrival. And you divide yards by minutes, and you get yards per minute. And the bird with the highest yards per minute is the champion bird. And I don't remember exactly, but I think this bird was like 1,200 yards per minute, which averages somewhere in about 45 miles an hour. But there's so much history with the birds. You know, all the world wars that we've had. I mean, they go clear back to the Romans and even, you know, back to the Chinese and everything in terms of carriers and birds and messages. Over the years, I mean, World War II was a classic one. There was a lot of famous pigeons that saved hundreds and thousands of lives in World War II. Just the release of a pigeon flying back to the loft with a message. One particular time stopped an air raid or a bombing of an area that the Allied troops had gone in and taken without very much struggle. And they overwhelmed it so fast that they were going to pre-bomb it before to soften it up. Well, they just moved right into it, and now they occupied it, and here comes the bombers. And so they got the message to the bombers not to bomb it, and it saved hundreds of Allied lives. These birds have been cultivated for hundreds of years by mankind for specific talents and for specific genetics. And so man has had his hand in the development of these birds for years and years and years. These are my kids.